Why did you stop me?
You had your cell phone in your hand.
I had my phone like this. Like this was not on it.
Why are you so uptight? Huh?
Couldn't give me a ticket.
The judge was facing his own law enforcement officers, but when a cop came up to him, he suddenly got scared and started stuttering.
I'm irritated because you pulled me over for no reason.
You had your cell phone in your hand.
I picked up my cell phone because I had it lost.
Okay.
There is absolutely no way a guy with this level of anger of just being pulled over should hold any position of power. This angers me immensely. Who the hell does this judge think he's? How entitled and completely inappropriate. He bullied that office, and the female police lieutenant needs to be reprimanded. No special treatment. This is so disgraceful. This is why body cams are so important. Every part of our legal system needs more transparency. The way that judge was violently shaking with rage at simply being pulled over tells me everything I need to know about his ability to be an impartial judge. This man is an utter menace, a criminal on the payroll. He seems coked out of his mind. I have such respect for the young officer who performed the stop. Unfortunately, everything was stacked against him. Hat level of anger is frightening. Imagine how he might be at home, behind closed doors. What's disturbing is this train wreck is a judge. He has anger issues, and it appears to be out of control to the point where he's shaking. How can this man be trusted in any court case? He got a 3-month suspension for this. He absolutely should not be able to serve another day as a judge. If he's willing to be corrupt out of court, who knows who corrupt his courtroom is? Imagine living your life with this level of anger. This blood pressure must be through the roof. Judge is a crook. Lock him up. It's sickening to think what he's done on the bench. I always find it amazing the judges think they're above the law. On July 11, 2021, Officer Devontae Johnson from the Moorefield Police Department in West Virginia pulled over Judge C. Carter Williams from Hardy County for using his cell phone while driving. Things got tense when the officer walked up to the judge's car.
What's the problem?
How you doing, sir? The reason I'm stopping you...
Judge Williams.
Gotcha.
Why did you stop me?
You had your cell phone in your hand.
I had my phone like this.
Yeah.
I just lost it. I was just looking for it, pulled it up like this, was not on it.
Under West Virginia law 17 C-14-15, drivers can't text or use their phones while driving unless they're using hands-free devices. So, even though Officer Johnson had a good reason to pull over Judge Williams, they couldn't just charge him on the spot for simply holding his phone.
You know the
That's what
law,
you saw.
though. You know the law.
So what? What if I have a cup in my hand?
You can't have a cell phone in the state of West Virginia in your hand.
Give me a ticket.
I don't.
Write me a ticket.
While talking to Officer Johnson, Judge Williams kept complaining about seeing cops using their phones while driving. Officer Johnson explained that the law allows police officers to use their phones for work purposes. According to Law 17 C-14-15, cops can use their phones while on duty, but they're still not allowed to use them for personal reasons while driving.
I'm really irritated about this whole... Go ahead and give me a ticket.
But why are you being like this to me? I've never done nothing to you in my whole life.
You just pulled me over for no reason.
Because you had your cell phone in your hand.
Pulled me over for no reason.
You had your cell phone. Okay.
Then the officer went back to his car to write the ticket. While checking the paperwork, the officer was surprised to find out that Judge Carter Williams' driver's license had been expired for almost 3 months. While the officer went back to his car to write the ticket, Judge Williams called Lieutenant Melody Burrows at the Moorefield Police Department to complain about being pulled over. Then, the lieutenant called the officer on the scene and told him not to write the ticket for Judge Williams.
91 Hotel, 946.
Lieutenant Mel.
Who and what does that come back to?
Hold on. Hello? Yes. No, I haven't even wrote it yet. I'm probably not going to write it. Okay, well, he's literally just screaming at me and everything else. For no reason. I've tried. He's just screaming at me. And then he said that he reviews or looks at our cases every day and we do wrong, blah, 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 blah. So. Alright. Okay, bye.
Lieutenant Melody Burrows called the officer, probably hoping he wouldn't give Judge Williams a ticket. After the call, Officer Johnson didn't issue any ticket to the judge. He went back to the car, handed back the documents, and gave a few reminders.
This is how I had my phone. I reached down and got it under my seat. I pulled it up here and I was driving like this. I was not talking on it. You can look. You can look when you pull me over. See whether I was on my phone.
Why are you being like this?
I'm being it because I've seen this crap enough. And I'm tired
Here
of
you go.
it.
Here's your license, registration, proof of insurance.
Give it to me. Let me have my license now.
Also, you need to go get your license up to date because they're expired, okay?
Next time
After the incident, Judge Williams called several officials, including Sheriff Stephen Rigelman and the former Moorefield police chief, to complain about being pulled over. His actions might have broken West Virginia's judicial code of conduct. Once the video of the incident was posted online, it got over 200,000 views and sparked tons of angry comments. People were outraged at how Judge Williams used his position to deny and threaten his subordinates. So, what exactly did the public say about this? Let's dive in and find out. Guy was literally shaking with anger for being pulled over for a simple ticket, and that same guy is in charge of a courtroom? What a joke. The officer says, "You know the law," and the judge says, "So what?" This guy is entitlement personified. His punishment was not stiff enough. Do we really want this guy deciding the fate of others ever? This is in my neighborhood. This judge is also a thief. He was caught stealing from our Walmart via the self-checkout, where he didn't pay for 10 or so items, which added up to about 60 towers, and he truly believes he is above the law. He is a true puss with absolutely no conscience or morals. Absolutely disgusting. I've actually never seen a video of a man more suspicious than this judge during a traffic stop. Can you imagine the innocent people have to go before him? They are definitely guilty before proven innocent. The way that officer held on to his registration and insurance, so the judge had to take 3 snatches to take it, was the best. Now this is prime example of someone who became a judge not for justice, but for power. Imagine that judge hearing your case, absolute mayhem. Wow, that judge has no self-control. He has no business determining people's fate in the courtroom. Well done, Officer Johnson. God bless you and your family. Your lieutenant could learn a lot from you. We should not tolerate this level of corruption. This reflects poorly upon the whole judicial system. This guy makes decisions that affect others' lives. He can't control his emotions during a traffic stop. Dude spent his whole day being mad over something that took at max 10 minutes. What a power trip he went on. I've run into a few retired and active judges in my day, and I've not met one who didn't demand preferential treatment, whether explicit or implicitly. They really are the worst because they know they are above the law. Wow. The sense of entitlement is off the charts with this one. It's no wonder why our legal system is so corrupted and in shambles. Clearly, this guy should never again be in a position where he gets to judge anybody. I hope all his friends and family have watched this video. This judge had an expired driver's license, been pulled over for running stop signs, not wearing seat belts. He's been caught walking out of Walmart without paying for his items. Wow, talk about abuse of power. Nothing makes a person feel more above the law than having the power and authority to hold others to it. This is why judges and politicians should have term limits. I'm shocked by the lack of judicial temperament that all judges should exhibit. If I had a case before this judge, I would have zero confidence. Needs to be suspended from the bench permanently. Holy shit, that judge should be off the bench. He has clearly shown his inability to act like a judge. Glad to hear he was held to account for his bad actions. This judge is clearly an unhinged manic human being and should not be making public rulings in a courtroom. He needs to be evaluated and medicated. Absolutely disgusting how they can always do what they want, but nobody else can. The lady who he called, who instructed the police officers not to ticket him, should be reprimanded as well. That was a complete abuse of her authority. That judge was out of control. I wish the officer had written him a ticket for driving on an expired license. If he had just calmly explained that he wasn't on the phone but had just picked it up, all would have been well. This guy is an entitled dolt. The fact that he was upset for being pulled over is potentially understandable. The fact that his rage continued for literally hours afterward is truly terrifying. Judge Williams even went to visit the city's mayor, Carol Zuber, to complain about the chaotic law enforcement by the police department, hoping she'd help him out. Eventually, the case got the attention of the county prosecutor, and was sent to the Judicial Investigation Commission. After looking into it, the commission found that in the 3 months before this incident, Judge Williams had been pulled over 3 times for not wearing a seatbelt, having an expired vehicle registration, and running a stop sign, but he never got a ticket. On July 15, 2021, the West Virginia Judicial Investigation Commission filed an emergency complaint against Judge Williams, accusing him of several violations of the Judicial Code of Conduct. These charges were based on his actions during the traffic stop and similar incidents. Judge Williams worked out a deal and pleaded guilty to not having a valid driver's license in exchange for dropping the cell phone charge. This led to even more public reactions and discussions. It's scary to think a judge has this kind of temper and is deciding someone's fate in the courtroom. It's amazing how many cops and judges act when they get pulled over. They genuinely think they are above the law that they enforce. Isn't it scary to everyone that this judge is so emotional in his thinking? As soon as the judge threatened to do cases differently because of this while having a tantrum, he should have been fired. I'm so glad he was held accountable for, and I wouldn't want to go in front of him. What a jerk. Disgusting. Some PPL should never be an authority. He was driving on an expired license too, and still wanted to get cocky and mean about it. He is not above the law, but he apparently thought he should be. I've seen people jerked out of cars, tased, and arrested for less. Wow, this guy has no business being a judge. He can't even control himself when confronted by police. He is an absolute disgrace to our justice system. We need officers like that in California who will enforce the law. Good for the officer. His sense of entitlement is so obvious. Started off announcing he's a judge. Teach him a lesson, officer. Throughout the interaction, Officer Johnson from the Moorefield Police Department stayed calm and professional, even though Judge Williams used some threatening language towards him. What do you think about this situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Goodbye and see you next time.